voice and tone. Lucas's narration is intimate and confessional. The use of first person draws readers deeply into his emotional world. Realistic dialogue, conversations, especially the confrontation with Camilla, feel authentic and hit hard without being melodramatic. Themes: you're exploring class, shame, and self-respect in meaningful ways that resonate. Opportunities to improve structure and flow. The narrative is rich, but a bit long without natural pauses. Breaking it into chapters or scenes would help readability and give emotional beats more room to breathe. Pacing. Some parts could be tightened. For example, the motel scenes and internal monologues sometimes repeat the same emotional notes: loss, betrayal, without adding new layers. Streamlining could make each moment hit harder. Camilla's characterization: she's painted as harsh and elitist, which works for the story, but a hint of internal conflict or nuance might add depth. Even a line or two suggesting she once truly cared, but lost her way under family pressure, could make her betrayal even more tragic. Expanding the twist. The dead husband lie is a huge moment. Consider expanding on the implications, how Lucas processes being entirely rewritten in someone else's story. Does he confront anyone? What are the stakes now? My name's Lucas Carter, and 10 years ago, my wife told the world I was dead. Not metaphorically, not emotionally. She said I died in a car crash, full stop. That lie grew legs, put on a tux, and showed up today at her sister's wedding, where everyone smiled like it was all true. I'd been mopping floors at the Lancaster building when I heard it. Melanie, her perfect smile, talking like I was a ghost in someone else's story. Her dad barely shook my hand when we first met. They never thought I belonged. But this was another level. I was back in the empty conference hall, scrubbing the same spotless table, arms burning, chest tight, trying to scrub away the truth. But it clung like smoke. I wanted to storm over to Camilla's place, bang on her door and ask, why? Why not just say we split? Why kill me off? But I knew why. A dead husband was neat, tragic, something people pitied. A divorced custodian? That was messy, embarrassing. I stopped, sat with my hands on the table, breathing hard. The hum of the vents the only sound left. Benjamin Lancaster had once told me my work was honest. He had no idea how honest. He'd nodded, at me like I was just another face, never knowing he was praising the ghost in his own family's fiction. I pushed my cart down the hall, wheels squeaking. I had to keep moving. If I stopped, I'd lose it. Saturday, Melanie's wedding day. I was holed up in a dingy motel trying to pretend the day didn't exist. No shifts, no distractions, just a plan. Stay in, keep the TV on low, maybe order a pizza and ignore the world. Then the phone rang. Camilla. Her name glowed like a flare I didn't ask for. I let it go to voicemail. Then it rang again. Melanie. I frowned. Still didn't pick up. What could she possibly want? Then Camilla's mom. Cousins. Unknown numbers. A swarm of notifications buzzing like hornets. I muted the phone. Still it. Lit up. Camilla. Again. Third time. I stared at her name. My thumb hovered. Then, against all sense, I answered. What? My voice came out rough, sharp. Her breathing was shaky, uneven. Lucas, please, come to the wedding. I need you. I laughed. Bitter, dry. Didn't you tell everyone I was dead? She was crying. I knew that cry, used to come with broken dishes and apologies. I was wrong, she said fast. Please, everything's falling apart. I sat stunned. The wedding was supposed to be perfect. Melanie and Grayson, the golden couple, the Lancasters' crown jewel, and now she needed me. The Fairmont, she said before the call cut off. I stared at the screen, my chest tight. I didn't owe her anything. She'd mailed the papers, buried me in lies. But still, I stood up, paced the room. What the hell was going on? The cab ride was quiet, just the driver humming to a scratchy radio. I sat stiff in the back seat, denim jacket tight across my shoulders, the one Camilla used to hate. She hated a lot about me, but never enough to tell me why until she erased me. The Fairmont loomed ahead, glowing like something out of a movie I wasn't cast in. I stepped inside. The air was all champagne and whispers, the kind of place where even silence is rich. I didn't belong. I never had. But the second I walked in, heads turned, gasps, whispers, like they were seeing a ghost. And then she came. Camilla. Mascara streaked, eyes wide, dress wrinkled, desperation dripping off her. "Thank God you're here," she breathed, clutching my arm. I pulled back. "What's going on?" "They know," she whispered, trembling. "Everything." "Everything?" I echoed. "Benjamin found out. About the lie. About you. He told Melanie. Grayson's furious. He's threatening to call it off." I stared, unmoved. "So your little story blew up. And now what?" Her eyes begged. "You have to fix this." I almost laughed. "Fix it? Me? Why would I do that?" "I was scared," she said. "I thought it'd be easier if you were just gone." I stared at her. Easier. That's what I was to her. A problem to delete. And now the ghost she'd created was standing in her fairy tale, wrecking the illusion. The ballroom doors opened. I stepped in beside her. The air shifted. Glittering chandeliers cast hard light on polished lies. Grayson, Melanie, Benjamin Lancaster himself, all staring at me like I'd crawled out of a grave. Benjamin stepped forward. "You're the man I was told died 10 years ago." I stopped, met his gaze. "Yes, sir," I said, "but I'm very much alive." Silence. I laid it out. All of it. Her lie. My job. The truth. The room cracked open. Grayson turned to Melanie. "You knew?" she stammered. I thought he was gone." "You all lied to me," he said, stepping back. Camilla tugged at my sleeve. "Lucas, do something." I shook her off. Loud enough for everyone to hear. "I've done enough." Grayson walked out. The wedding crumbled. I stood in the wreckage, calm, clear, and alive for the first time in years. My name's Lucas Carter, and I was never dead. But now, her perfect world was. My name's Lucas Carter. When I walked into the Fairmont, it wasn't for the wedding. It was for the truth. Camilla had begged me not to come, but I did anyway. Stood there in front of the Lancaster family and laid it. All out. Her lies. Her betrayal. The fairy tale collapsed on the spot. Grayson walked out first, his voice sharp and final. "I won't marry into deception." Melanie broke down, the hem of her white dress pooling as she sank into a chair, face buried in her hands. Around us, guests whispered, some slipping out the doors, others glued to the spectacle. I didn't move. Arms crossed, boots planted on polished floors. I just watched it all fall apart. Camilla stood beside me, eyes wild, mascara streaked, breath uneven like she was still trying to fix it. She reached for me, desperation trembling in her fingers. "Lucas, please," she choked. "I'm sorry, forgive me." I looked down at her, those hazel eyes I used to know, and felt nothing. No rage, no sadness, just a hollow space where love used to live. "You don't get it," I said, pulling my arm free. "This isn't about forgiveness. You made your choice. Live with it." She flinched like I'd hit her. "I didn't mean—" "You didn't think I mattered," I cut in, my voice steady. "But they all noticed now, didn't they?" Tears came, but I was done. I turned to leave, when a voice stopped me cold. "Hold on." Benjamin Lancaster. His silver hair caught the light. His voice was calm, authoritative. He looked from Melanie to Camilla, then to me. "That took guts," he said. "Most men wouldn't have shown up. I admire people who take pride in what they do. If I'd known who you really were from the start, my opinion of this family might have been very different." I didn't know what to say, so I just stood there. Then he added, "You're wasted as a cleaner. Come work for me. Head of Facilities Management at Lancaster Holdings. Better pay, more responsibility. You've earned it." I blinked. "You serious?" "Dead serious. Think about it. Let me know Monday." Then he turned and walked away. Camilla stared like she couldn't believe it either. "Lucas, don't," I said, shutting her down with a look. "You don't get to talk to me now." And I walked out. Outside, the city shimmered beneath the Fairmont's glow. The wedding was off. Camilla was crying. Melanie was broken. And I was free. For the first time in months, I could breathe. Months later. My name's Lucas Carter. I sit at a desk now, not just a mop in my hand, but a title on my door, head of Facilities Management, Lancaster Holdings. I took the job, traded the motel room for a small apartment with a view of the bay. It's not fancy, but it's mine, clean, quiet, a new beginning. Omar, Tony, Elena, they still work with me. Still tease me about the dress shirts and the clipboard, but there's respect in their eyes now, the kind I hadn't known I was missing. Piece by piece, I rebuilt my life, and it felt solid, real. Then one night, the past buzzed my intercom. "Lucas, it's me. Can I come up?" Camilla. I should have said no, but something in her voice, soft, small, made me press the button anyway. She looked different, smaller. Hair pulled back, coat plain, no polish. She stepped in, glanced around my apartment, like she was seeing me for the first time. "I regret everything," she said. "I was wrong to be ashamed of you. I've missed you." I let her talk, let her spill everything, losing Melanie, her job, her grip on that perfect image. When she finished, I asked, "You done?" She nodded, hopeful. "You weren't ashamed of me," I said. "You were ashamed of yourself. You missed the version of me who fixed your messes. That guy's gone." She reached for me. I stepped back. "I've got a life now. One you don't get to walk into because you're lonely or sorry." "I love you," she whispered. "No," I said, opening the door. "You love the idea of me, not the real thing." She stood frozen a moment, then walked out. I shut the door, felt the weight leave with her. Now. The morning breeze off the bay kisses my skin as I sit on my balcony, coffee warming my hands. I've come a long way, from that broken man Camilla cast aside to the man I am now. The city stretches out before me, the skyline gold in the sunrise. I don't look back much anymore. Forward is better. I lost my wife, but I found something better. Myself.